Dan Moskal here, and what we're looking at is a Blogger tutorial, and we're going to look at actually your traffic stats. One of our lovely, sweet friends, Claire, reached out to us, and as you're probably, if you aren't aware yet, the Blogger stats, these page views, are not going to be accurate. On the sense like it's going to track a whole bunch of traffic. You can get some good ideas on, or you can get some information from these stats, but what I use, and this is what I use for WordPress websites as well, I use a couple things, but what I use specifically, and the one thing that I look at the most, is using StatCounter.com, and that's what we're going to look at in this video, because StatCounter will show you, Google Webmaster Tools will give you all your Google data, but that will not include your Yahoo and Bing. StatCounter will include all three of the big search engines and a bunch of other useful information. StatCounter will give you a free account as well. The only drawback to a free account is it won't keep your stats and your data and your information forever. It's only going to keep a limited amount of time. However, if you're willing to spend, I think they have like a $5 upgrade, which will keep your information for a long time. And if you don't want to spend the money, you don't have to, because they'll give it to you for free. But let's go ahead and go through this process here. Whoops. So let's copy our URL, because that's the first step we need to put in here with the project URL. Create an account. You just give them your email and your name, and I think you create your username, but the project URL is the actual website that you want to track. Project title, this is just something you're going to look at. Put your country in, and then you can pick your time zone. I never check this, make stats public. And then of course over here we can figure out exactly how we want it. I would not recommend that you have a visible counter. That's like a 1990 Atari Nintendo version. Instead, I would click invisible tracking. That way your website visitors won't see anything. And then you can get reports. You can have an email sent to you showing you where a lot of your keyword traffic is being created. So we're going to go ahead and just add project, and then the next thing we do, choose an installation guide for your website. There's everything under here. You can do WordPress or whatever, and you don't have to do this because you can do the default installation guide. It's really an easy process, and it's just going to take us another probably 30 seconds here. So this is what we do. We take this code, we copy it. Now we go over to our blogger website, and we need to go to our layout. And what we're going to do is add it's not a widget, what do they call it, a gadget over here. So what we do is we want to click Add Gadget, and we're going to add the HTML JavaScript. So plus, it's just a delay. So title, you can write something in up there, but if you write something in up here, it's going to show. So we're just for example, we're going to say StatCounter 2, because I've already got StatCounter on here, and this is a new account I just wanted to create for this video. But we paste that code in. That's the one that we copied from StatCounter, and we just, if you don't want anything to appear, which is the way I do it, don't write anything in the title. But for this one, I'm going to do that. We're going to click save. It's going to save, and then we have to click save arrangement, and then we go over to, you can look at it in your website, and as long as you haven't put a title on, it shouldn't appear anywhere. If you happen to install StatCounter twice, as we've done with this video, then your Blogger website won't display properly. So make sure that you only install one code on there, just as a side note. But once this is installed, you just scroll down and you click check installation. And now ours is not going to show up because this is the second time we've added it. But we click check installation, and it should. Right now it says code detected for other projects, and that's because we've added it already. But it should, and it will say that it's been on there. It'll say, yes, it's on here. And now we're going to go and look into our StatCounter account to look at the information that this is going to give us. So within StatCounter, we can get all this information, such as your popular pages. You can just list, you'll see a big list and see what's getting the most traffic. You can also see your incoming traffic, people that are visiting your website directly, search engine referrals, where they came from. This is how they actually visited your website. If they searched in Google, watched your YouTube video. Keyword analysis also will tell you what some of the bigger keyword terms are and how people are finding your website. If you're paying for some advertising, this will be paid traffic. Recent came from will also show you where exactly. So for example, somebody watched this YouTube video and then clicked over in the link description of our video and visited our website. And then this is probably the biggest thing that I use, is your recent keyword activity. This will show you all the things and actual keywords that people are searching in the search engines in order to find your website. And it's not just find your website, but these are searches where people searched, they saw our website, and then they clicked and visited our website. Another thing, and I'm just going to show you a couple last things in here, but the search engine wars. So a little less than 40% of the traffic is coming from Google, another 35% from Bing, 24% from Yahoo, and then these are some of the other big search engines. It'll also show you what people are clicking on to leave your website. So if they're visiting your Facebook page, or if they're clicking on your AdSense advertisements or outbound links from your website. You can also see the visitor paths. This is another thing that's worth looking at every once in a while. So you can see, so let's say Bob visits our website, he visits this page, and then he goes and clicks on another link on our website and visits another page, and then he clicks on yet another link, and then clicks on another link, and clicks on it. It'll take you through what your website visitors are actually doing on your website, if they're just looking at one page or if they're looking at 10 pages on your website, which can be very helpful. You can play around with some of these things. Are worth looking into, and this is another just insightful thing. So one of the things that our wonderful friend Claire has asked us and expressed some concern about was her bounce rate. The bounce rate and how long people actually stay on your website. The visit length is really that within StatCounter. High bounce rates are common. I wouldn't even worry or look at this stuff. Like, don't pay any attention to it, because it's not really something, you're going to have a high bounce rate, period. Especially if you have a lot of traffic. You can try to make things a little bit better, but this isn't something that I would suggest you or anyone invest time worrying about or really taking an active concern with. Because one of the things about the Google Webmaster Tools, Yahoo and Bing now I believe have some Webmaster Tools, and obviously StatCounter as we're looking at here, people aren't going to stay on your website forever, and you get so much information, it's so easy to get bogged down by the details. Really, don't worry about the details, just try and get more traffic. And one of the best ways to get more traffic is to get more pages, more content, and more information out there, so people have ways of discovering your website and finding your website. And returning visits, I really don't even mess around with anything else. The two big places I look at is recent keyword activity, and the summary will give you actually the link. And then every once in a while I'll check in on the visitor paths, just to see how people are navigating through my website. So to track your website traffic, especially with Blogger, I strongly encourage you to use a free StatCounter account. It'll take about 2 seconds to create your account and another maybe 30 seconds to actually install it. Here is the confirmation of when you have checked your installation. If it's installed correctly and you have it on your website, it'll say code detected, and you'll have a big green button that shows up here, and you will also go back to the projects page. So this is Dan Moskal. Please visit danmoskaluniversity.com. We're doing a free SEO training course. I'll leave a link in the description below, and if you're using Blogger, I've written a book here, How to Create a Website Easy Button, Earn Money Online with Google, AdSense, Amazon, Your Business, and More, which really looks at Blogger, especially for folks that aren't super tech geeks, Blogger is the way to go, and I would encourage you, especially if you plan on getting this SEO traffic, to go and take your Blogger website and put it on a custom domain name. You can do this very inexpensively. You can find some other Blogger tips, and including how to put it on a custom domain, on some other videos on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe, and if you have some questions or comments or concerns when it comes to Blogger, along with Webmaster, StatCounter, tracking tools, and the Google Webmaster tools, just let me know. I've got a lot of other helpful videos on this channel. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please visit danmoscowuniversity.com. We'll put a link in the description below. You can grab a copy of this book at Amazon. It's also in the Kindle. It's also at barnesandnoble.com and on iTunes, among other places. Again, this is Dan Moscow. Please have a wonderful afternoon. If you have any specific questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below. And looking forward to talking to you again soon.